Hey guys, Brian Bowman here, and welcome to the next lesson in the AMS section of the SPA 2.0 course. We're going to be talking all about how to create killer headline ads in your AMS campaigns. I'm really excited to be sharing this with you guys. I've got some cool content. I think you guys are going to get a lot from it. So let's just dive right in. Most of you by this point should have AMS access. If not, make sure you get on that. It is really one of the best opportunities right now for driving traffic internally in Amazon. If you're an Amazon seller, this is the next thing that you need to be taking advantage of. So make sure if you haven't gotten access, go back, watch the other lessons, get your access, and then dive into this content so you can have your first ad up and running. Now for everyone else, let's just dive right into the content here. So my main goal for this module really comes down to 80-20, right? Like Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. There's a lot of depth we can get into. There's a lot of things we can cover about, different ideas on headline ads and product display ads and all kinds of strategies like anything else. But what I really wanted for you is to get the 20% that'll give you the 80% of results, right? It's like the effort that's going to give you the maximum results, because I want you to get the maximum return on your investment, not only in the money that you spend, but in the time you put into this. So if that sounds fair to you, we'll get started. Is that cool? All right. Very cool. So let's talk all about headline ads. Now, you've probably seen these ads, right? And for some of you, you know now, all right, AMS gives you access to this. But there's a lot of you who see this and you're like, wait, like, how do I get that, right? We're all fighting for that sponsored product spot, right here. And this is like spot number 1, but how does this guy get spot number 0, right? Like he jumps everybody. And you could probably imagine the click-through rates, the impressions, everything is higher here if done correctly, and the return can be a lot higher because it's just not as competitive. So this is definitely, what I was saying at the beginning, this is the place that you need to be putting your focus, in addition to obviously sponsored products. So that is going to give you the most data, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But in terms of return on investment or on your advertising dollar, this is where you need to be spending your time and focusing, or one of the places you really need to be focusing. So it's all about strategy. Now, the one thing that I want to stress, and I stress this all the time in all of our training, all of our web classes, in our courses, is that AMS is not sponsored products. So if you take a sponsored products approach, which is perfectly, it's legitimate, right? Like you have a strategy in sponsored products, and if you apply it exactly the same, especially when you take the idea of spreading out, kind of that shotgun approach, it tends to fail horribly because you're not leveraging what is the biggest value of AMS, in particularly headline ads, is the ability to write copy, the ability to write a custom headline for each keyword, essentially, to perfectly match up this congruency. So we call it a congruency doctrine, right? Because you have what the customer has in mind, what they search for, the headline they see, and the product that they eventually get to. The more congruent we make that path, the more likely they are to click the ad, land on your page, and convert and buy, because we want to keep that message consistent. So this is a very different approach than just getting our product out there and, sort of putting it out in front of people. AMS has this additional variable, which is this headline, which can make or break your campaigns. So the biggest thing that you're going to want to do is understand that they are complementary. So while AMS and sponsored products are not the same, they are perfectly complementary. And there's one huge thing that you're going to have to do and to make your campaign successful. The biggest thing you'll have to do is find the patterns among your converting customer search terms. Now, this sounds kind of, very complex, but at the end of the day, you listening to this have a major advantage over anyone else that would be hearing this, because you're part of SPA 2.0. You're part of a community of people who are so focused on sponsored products. And a lot of what you learn in this is finding those patterns. So you already have those patterns. All I'm asking you to do now is take those and apply them in a sort of logical way in your headline ads. So if an example we're going to use here is a camping backpack. So let's say you go through your data, you look through your search term report, and you find that you're converting terms, you find patterns that there's 6 keywords that all have the phrase camping backpack. Maybe it's best camping backpack, camping backpack for short trips, camping backpack. Let's just say that's the common phrase that appears in 6 of your best converting terms. That now becomes a bucket that we're going to use in our headline. So notice I'm not taking all of my converting terms and just putting them in an ad group or in a campaign. If I do that, I'm breaking this chain of this congruency that I want to keep, right? I want to keep that message consistent. So we're going to take smaller groups of keywords and write headlines that are very congruent with that group of keywords. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, and I'll show you an example that will hopefully bring this home so that you can start implementing this right away. Because again, you have a major advantage. Usually when we're teaching this in our courses is we have to kind of get people caught up to this point where you're at. You already know how to mine through the data and find patterns. Now you just need to take that and now use it in AMS. So that's all I got for slides. How about we just dive into AMS and I just show you how to build out your first headline ad. Is that cool? All right, let's do it. All right, so the first thing you have to do is go ahead and actually jump in and create your headline ad. So I'm just going to show you really quickly here. So basically at the top of when you log into AMS, you're going to see a little button here. It says advertising or a little tab. You click that, click new campaign, and they'll take you right here. So you'll be able to select headline search. We're not going to talk about sponsored products. That's what you guys have SPA 2.0 for, and you guys will be doing all this on the Seller Central side. But we are going to be talking about headline search in this lesson, and the next lesson we'll talk about product display and how we create product display ads that crush and that are most effective. So let's go ahead and dive into AMS, and let's look at headline search. All right, so here we are inside of AMS, and we are going to dive into our headline ad. So just like we said, we chose headline search, and now we are in the back end here of AMS where we can actually build out the ad. Now, just to make sure we're on the same page, I want to show you what a headline ad is. So it's this guy right here where you can advertise above sponsored products. It's this first ad that pops up. And here you can see they wrote this headline. From backyards to backwoods, adventure this way. This is High Sierra. This is the actual headline they wrote for this search term. And when I click this ad, I'm going to see a bunch of their products. Now, there's a few things that I would change right off the bat. One, you need a minimum of 3 products to run a headline search, and that's the most products that I would ever use because I want to narrow the choices down so that there's a higher likelihood people will click, introduce less friction so that they'll actually move through the buying process. The other thing is, I'm not crazy about this headline. I think it could be way more congruent with what I'm actually searching for. Nowhere in here does it say camping or backpack. And that violates one of our rules that we teach in terms of how to build effective headlines. So right away, there's things I would change about this. It's not bad, but it could be better. But that's basically a headline ad. So let's go ahead and start creating this. So we're going to basically have 3 choices on where we can send people. We can send them to a page. We can create a page, our brand page, or a custom URL. We're going to use a custom URL in this example. We've had better success with custom URL, so that's really why we use them. You can create a page if you'd like. That opens you up to some other issues that we've had where, sometimes there's ASINs that are ineligible for some reason and ads stop running. So we've had better success with custom URL. You can use either one though. The Amazon brand page, you probably don't have that set up because you just got access, and we're not going to be covering it in this training, but you can create basically your own storefront, your own landing page with an image and a video, and I believe you could still do video, and you could do your best sellers, and you could basically create a nice custom place where you can send your headline ad traffic to, which is very nice. And you create that here inside of AMS. But we're going to choose the custom URL option. If you wanted to use create a page, you'd search the product either under Amazon or your brand. I recommend you search under your brand in this drop down, but you can just add in your products and you can put them all in here. But again, custom URL is what we will always recommend. It just has performed better for us. So the way you create a custom URL, let me just show you. So we're going to go ahead and just for this example, we're going to use this company OnePack. OnePack is going to be our ad that we're going to create, or the company we're creating an ad for. Now, when I go into here and I go into their, the products that they sell, I'm going to choose 3 parent ASINs. You can't do child ASINs. They have to be parent ASINs, just the way it's structured in AMS. And we're going to have 3 separate parent ASINs, right? And we're just going to grab the ASINs from the URL up here. So we're just going to grab this guy here. We're going to grab this guy here. And we're going to grab this guy here. And again, these are just 3 related products, if possible. If you don't have 3 related products, no problem. At the very least, choose the one in your FBA stock that is, is what people are searching for. And if you have 2 other rando things that you're going to put in there, that's fine. But if possible, try to keep them obviously related to each other. So here we've chosen 3 backpacks. And what we're going to do is, to create the custom URL, we're just going to put the 3 ASINs separated by vertical pipe. So you can see I did ASIN, vertical pipe, ASIN, vertical pipe, ASIN. That vertical pipe is on your keyboard. It's right under the backspace button. So you'd have shift and hit that key, and it'll put that vertical like bar right in the in between your ASINs. Then you're going to hit enter, and you're going to get this URL. So this is your custom URL. You just got to copy this whole thing right here. Copy. Go back here, paste it in here, and that's it. So you've created it. Now, if I go visit this page, if I click here, this is what it takes me to. So it's the same page. This is, again, when someone goes here and my ad appears, when they click this, this is where it's going to take them to. Cool? All right. So now we've done that, we have to start building out our ad. So the campaign name, the way you can use any naming convention you'd like. You just want something that makes sense so you can go back at a high level and understand what's contained inside of that campaign. So we use the main sort of phrase, like underlying phrase that we're promoting, that our keywords are grouped into. So remember I talked about congruency. So I'm going to take my camping backpack terms and I'm going to put them in a small group. So I'll show you an example when I start typing these out, but anything that has the camping backpack phrase, I'm going to put in here because I know that that's what people are searching for. So I want to maintain congruency with that, my headline, and the products that I show them. So in this case, the phrase is going to be camping backpack. The headline type, we have 4 different main headline types that we use. In this example, I'm going to show you the trust headline, but we use a question headline, a trust headline, a curiosity headline, and a pain point headline. I'll show you the trust headline. This is probably the one that beats the control most often, so I want to show you that. A budget, just set $10 a day, and we're going to run that continuously. And here I want to show you one of the coolest features about AMS. So one thing it'll do, based on the ASINs that you put in that custom URL, it's going to give you suggested keywords. Now, there's one thing that's really, really cool. I just chose this one just to show you, but let's add this one in here. And one second. Let's see. It's taking a minute. And then one thing you'll see, which is very, very cool. Some of you are going to probably be blown away if you've never seen this. It's giving me estimated traffic volume. Now, this isn't based on some third-party software. This isn't based on some estimate. This is actual Amazon data. Amazon is telling me hiking backpack is a high traffic keyword. Now, that's pretty cool. It is giving me, this is actual Amazon data. So this is right here is an amazing keyword research tool. Just imagine the possibilities, right? And there's a lot of really cool strategies we teach to leverage this as your best keyword optimization tool. But what I really want you to focus in on is the words that they're giving you. So here you can see I added camping backpack, and that's considered a medium traffic versus hiking backpack, which is a high traffic keyword. And I'll leave those in there. Normally I won't choose these. What I'll do is I'll go to add your own keywords. And what I'll do here is I'll say camping backpack. And then what you see is it actually gives me a drop down and it starts telling me what the estimated volume is for these different things. So I'm going to choose camping backpack. But then let's say that in my customer search term report, I saw best camping backpack. I saw, camping backpack for, I don't know, let's say men, and backpack for camping, let's say. So maybe these are like the 4 terms that I found that converted really well in my customer search term data, but they're all related by that phrase, camping backpack, or, somewhat like that phrase. Like, we don't have to be strict to the phrase that it has to be camping and backpack. The bottom line is this is what's on our customer's mind. So let's give them what they want. Let's create something related to that. And what we're going to do is we'll start with phrase. We're always going to start with a low bid. I am a big fan, a huge advocate of starting with low bids on AMS because you can get some amazing results when you go low bid. If you start going high bid in AMS, you'll pay for it and it won't necessarily yield results. We're all about micro budgets and then scaling up. So I'm going to recommend that you start with a 50-cent bid at most on a phrase and then optimize from there. If you're not getting impressions, then bump up your bid. If you're kind of spending too much, then let's bump down the bid. But I don't want you to go much more above that, especially when starting out. Then the next thing is so we have one pack is the brand. Then we're going to use a trust headline. So our trust headline is pretty simple. What we do is we say the main phrase, whatever it is, that someone who's respected in that space trust, in that niche trusts. So we'll say the camping backpack. In this case, I'm not sure who really is an authority with camping backpack. That outdoorsman trust. So we call this our trust headline. So we're just saying the camping backpack that outdoorsmen trust. Something like that. If this was a kitchen product, the blank that professional chefs trust. If this was a dental product, the blank that dentists trust. So the blank, so the key phrase, so again, this goes back to our key term in there, right? Camping backpack. That blank trust. That's simple. This is actually a pretty effective headline. This usually beats the control. And then after that, it's pretty simple, right? We have the brand name. We have the image, and you can choose whatever image you want. You can put your company logo if you like. You can upload your own custom image, and that's about it. So here it shows you previews of what it'll look like on desktop, on mobile app, and then you just submit campaign for review, and this thing is ready to go. So we're going to keep it super simple. Again, this is the best way to kick off your first set of ads. Obviously, we can get deeper into this. We can have a whole lot more, sort of strategy around this. But this is sort of 80-20, get you best results, fastest amount of time, and most importantly, get you moving the needle forward and really, moving the chains forward and getting these ads running and start leveraging the power of AMS. So that's headline ads, how to create killer headline ads, and hopefully not too long. I think this video, we kept it under 20 minutes, so that's good. And next, we'll be talking about product display ads, and what is probably one of the most powerful features of where you can actually go into your competitor's listing and snag sales away from them right under their nose. So we'll have that in the next lesson. For right now, go create your first headline ad and report back your results and any questions you have inside of the group. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.